Cordell Davenport here, the Playmaker of Progress. This weekly alley-oop is from Dr. Denis Waitley. It's a popular story called Acres of Diamonds, and it's actually a story that has been around for a while. True story, actually. So, may you learn, grow, and prosper. Take charge. Go get it.
Not far from the river Indus, there once lived a Persian farmer by the name of Ali Hafid, who owned a large farm with orchards, grain fields, and gardens. He was a wealthy, contented man, contented because he was wealthy, and wealthy because he was contented. One day he was visited by an ancient priest, a wise man from the east. The priest sat by the fire and told Ali Hafid how our world was made. He said the Almighty thrust a finger into the fog and slowly turned it round and round, increasing the speed until it gradually became a ball of fire. And then he said, the ball of fire rolled through the universe, burning its way through other cosmic banks of fog and condensing the moisture until it fell in floods of rain upon its surface, which cooled the outer crust. When the melted mass burst out and very quickly cooled, it became granite. That which cooled less quickly became silver, and even less quickly, gold. And diamonds, said the ancient priest, diamonds are congealed drops of sunlight. Declaring diamonds the highest of God's mineral creations, the priest said that one stone the size of Ali Hafid's thumb could purchase the whole country. If Ali Hafid had a mine of diamonds, he could place his children on the thrones of countries throughout the world. Well, Ali Hafid went to bed that night a poor man. Poor because he was discontented, and discontented because he thought he was poor. I want a diamond mine, he repeated to himself throughout his sleepless night. He woke the priest early the next morning. Will you tell me where I can find diamonds, he asked. Diamonds, said the priest. What do you want with diamonds? I want to be immensely rich, replied Ali Hafid candidly. Then go along and find them. That's all you must do, advised the priest. But I don't know where to go, Ali Hafid pleaded. Well, said the priest, if you look for a river that runs over white sands between high mountains, you will always find diamonds in those sands. I don't believe any such river exists, Ali Hafid challenged. Of course it does. There are many of them, said the priest. All you have to do is find them. Ali Hafid went to the window and looked out, his gaze fixed on the mountains that bordered his farm. I believe you. I will go, he resolved. He sold his farm and collected his money. Leaving his family in a neighbor's care, he went off in search of diamonds, starting with the nearest mountains. Next, he searched in Palestine. Finally, he wandered Europe. When the last of his money had been spent, he stood in rags at Spain's Bay of Barcelona, watching the waves roll in. And soon the penniless, hopelessly wretched man cast himself into the oncoming tide and sank beneath the water, never to rise again. One day, continued the old Arab guide, the man who had purchased Ali Hafid's farm let his camel into the garden for a drink. As the beast lapped the brook's clear water, Ali Hafid's successor noticed a curious flash in the shallow stream's white sands. Reaching into the water, he withdrew a black pebble with an eye of light that reflected all the colors of the rainbow. He took the curious stone into the house, put it on the mantel, and returned to his chores. Some days later, he was visited by the ancient priest. The moment the priest saw the gleam from the mantel, he rushed to it. There's a diamond here, he shouted. A diamond. Has Ali Hafid returned? No, he hasn't returned, and that's no diamond, the new owner answered. It's nothing but a stone from out there in the garden. But I know a diamond when I see one, the priest insisted, and I tell you, that's what this is, a beautiful diamond. Together they rushed to the garden stream. They stirred the white sands with their fingers, and lo, discovered more stones, even more beautiful and valuable than the first. Thus was the diamond mine of Golconda discovered, the most magnificent in history, exceeding even the Kimberley silver mine. For decades, every shovelful from near that stream revealed gems that would decorate the crowns of monarchs. The Golconda diamonds, to this day, are the purest, most priceless white diamonds ever mined. They are so precious and rare that you probably never will see one in a store, at an auction, in an estate sale, or on the ring finger or around the neck of a celebrity. It is said that if you seek to own a Golconda diamond, you never will. The Golconda diamonds are passed quietly among the owners and from generation to generation without notice. It is said that the Golconda diamonds must seek you. Had Ali Hafed remained at home and dug in his own garden instead of wandering aimlessly into a life of frustration, poverty, and finally suicide in a strange land, he would have had acres of diamonds. This, of course, has spawned hundreds of keynote speeches, books, audio tapes, and songs, the most famous of which reminds us, you'll find that happiness lies right under your eyes, right in your own backyard. If ever a story had a more powerful moral, I haven't encountered it. Perhaps you have already developed the wisdom to know that the diamonds that you seek are waiting to be uncovered in your own backyard, the backyard of your own mind, where your sense of values and your self-worth are embedded. The simple truth is that if we have no internalized feelings of value, we have nothing to share with others. We can need them, depend upon them, look for security in them, but we can't share or give emotion to anyone unless we possess it. The diamond is inside us, waiting to be discovered, shaped, and polished. Happiness is the experience of living every minute with love, grace, and gratitude. The gift of life is not a treasure hunt. Ali Hafed should have realized that when he left his family and friends behind and began to look for success in all the wrong places. You see, you can't look for success. The treasure is within you. The Acres of Diamonds story involves perspective, how you see life from within. The gemstones are the responses and attitudes that you develop as a result of seeing the world more clearly. When you see more clearly, you see yourself as valuable and your self-esteem grows strong. Seeing more clearly gives you the understanding that you're responsible for learning as much and contributing as much as you can to life. When you see life from within, you see purpose and faith as two of the cornerstones of your core foundation. You see through the eyes of love and reach out and touch all those with whom you come in contact. Seeing from within is having the courage to adapt to change and to persevere when the odds seem overwhelming. Seeing from within is believing that beauty and goodness are worth digging for every day. How we see life makes all the difference. Success in the United States is usually associated with material wealth. The Egyptian pharaohs thought so as well, which is why they wanted all their possessions buried with them so they could enjoy them in the next life. There's no question that money is the source of power for good and evil, that resource is behind all research, that farmland must be financed in order to provide food. But that's the point. It's not what you get that makes you successful. It's what you're continuing to do with what you've got. Happiness seems to be associated more with the experience of the quality of the effort than in the fleeting moment of the recognition of having arrived. The Ali Hafeds of this generation are hoping to win the lotto. They fantasize in vain that their 6 numbers will come up and that their worries will be over. Ironically, in a recent poll of multi-million-dollar prize winners in the lotto over the past 10 years, only 6% of the winners reveal that they were happier after they got the sudden windfall. How can this be? The answer is simple yet profound. If you're not invested in the effort, you won't enjoy the harvest. You will hoard it so that others can't take it from you, or you will spend it recklessly since it arrived as if you rubbed a magic lamp. Look deep within, and you'll see the crown jewels in the diamond mine of your creative mind.